Hi, good morning, everybody. Today is March 4th, and it's the week right after EthDenver. We're super excited to be back. Thank you, Caleb and Akram, for holding up the fort over here while we were out. The majority of the team was out there. We had a nice booth at EthDenver. It's the biggest booth we've ever had there. We were also at the Unstable Summit. We had a panel there, and we were on main stage EthDenver. We had a lot of people stop by and try out Tellor live with Spotty. We also went to a lot of events. The ecosystem, it's obviously like what we got from there is everything is exploding. I think that's what I saw is I feel like there's an app chain being born every day. But it's amazing to see how much research is going into it and how much I'm curious to see where all the improvements that come of it. Yeah. So do you guys want to talk about it? And what was your impression as Buddy with everybody trying Tellor?
That was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. So before we left for Denver, it was just like the day before, I asked Mike if I should like throw a mini PC in the bag so we could have people like kind of see Tellor at the booth. And then it got even better when we borrowed a TV from Silo Finance because their booth was right next door. They didn't show up, so we borrowed their TV, and then we had this big TV with the CLI going. And when people saw a command line program, they were kind of just like walked over to see what the hell we were doing because everybody else at EthDenver is advertising their like super polished app, but they would come to our booth and they could do something that looked a little bit more like cypherpunk and fun, and it was great. And I'm gonna be going through.
Oh, it's blurry. I was trying to show.
We had people submitting all kinds of data. They were submitting jokes. they were submitting like regular Tellor data, but also jokes. There, look at that. And just like questions and answers and just whatever they wanted. And then from there, we would talk about like what Tellor actually does when it's not a joke. But it was great. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to go through and see how many submissions we got and like kind of just like write up some content about that, and also making plans for how to do it better next time. Because it's great.
And I love how it really showcased the fact that we can do all sorts of data. Like people are submitting jokes or submitting like random stuff. I have not seen everything that everybody submitted, but does it still show on our data feed page?
No, they were probably scrolled down out of the data feed now, but I can decode them. Like I'll just take all the transactions on that address and run them through a decode and put them in a spreadsheet, and we'll see what we got.
That'll be fun. So yeah, we can do way more things than prices, guys. So, and yeah.
I think it's really cool to note, and I apologize from my voice. I lost it in Denver, but it's cool to note that not only could you not do this sort of demo at another Oracle's booth, but this wasn't a demo that was a pre-planned, pre-packaged thing we built in order to do a demo. It is literally like how our protocol works, and we spun it up on the spot, basically.
And one guy even found a bug.
Right.
Like one guy even found a bug because they were doing stuff that we'd never done before. It was great.
Oh, geez. Yep. Do we have to fix this bug? What is this bug now?
Yeah, it's not serious. It's like just a little bit of an encoding thing. Or I'm sorry, it's like it's a decoding bug, but it's like not serious at all, but it's just fun.
On the front end, right?
A stranger found it. Yeah.
Oh man, do we have his address or something? Give him something.
I asked him if he wanted a bounty on the spot. He was like, no.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like really silly.
Well, thank you, anonymous person. I guess does anybody have anything else if they want to talk about EthDenver, and if not, we can.
I just want to shout out to Zach, Parr, and Nick from Party Action People. Yeah. They're amazing. They throw events in the space. We've probably talked about them before, but they're also our events team, and so they were a big part of our footprint there. And so they helped us out a bit, a bunch, not a bit. And I wanted to shout out to them. I know that they're watching.
Yeah, thank you guys. Honestly, every other event that we've been to, we always go in a little bit early. We set up, we do all the legwork, and it was amazing to be at this event and just literally show up to talk to people. It's I don't know about you guys, but I felt very spoiled.
Yeah, yeah,
Loved it. I
yeah,
loved it. Thank you.
yeah. Party action people, you were awesome. We're gonna definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else has anything to say about it, Denver? If not, let's get
I'll
started.
just,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna shout out to the other Oracle projects that I tried to make friends with. Uh, if you guys ever want to talk to Tellor, like, don't be afraid. Just like send me a message, like anybody. Like, there's only one Oracle that we're not really friends with, and we all have that in common. So the rest of us might as well be friends. And I went around to all the other Oracles to talk to them, and that was fun too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is so much to do in the space, and the space is gonna grow so much that I honestly do not understand why we cannot work together to make sure that everything, that all the data requests get fulfilled, because eventually there's gonna be a huge network. There's space for all of us. So anyway, yeah, so there wasn't a lot of I guess from the people that were over at EthDenver, we didn't actually get a lot of programming done. But I don't know, Akram, Caleb, do you guys want to give us an overview of what happened last week? Because we were all out in Denver.
Welcome back. We mostly worked on layer, trying to finish up with the implementations of the ADR. I personally was specifically working on the dispute stuff. We had meetings with Faku as well. I think Wednesday and Thursday. I think also Caleb had it on Friday with him. Just mostly trying to get to the stage where we are into an audit or a layer. So.
Right. So we currently have scheduled that mid-April. So looking forward to sending that over. I think, yeah. So I'm sure we'll be ready.
Yeah, I think we're on track for that. Way before that means.
Yeah, and now that it's March and EthDenver is done, I think it's gonna be all hands on for testing. Like even including myself, I'll be helping out with testing. So that means that Dan, Caleb, we're all gonna sit together and probably do some pair programming. Yeah. Caleb, how was your first week at Tellor?
It was fun. I just really focused on getting up to speed on a lot of the terminology and concepts around the Interchain and Cosmos SDK. Meeting with Faku on Friday by myself was nice. We probably talked for like an hour about different questions. I helped him kind of pick out stuff that he should definitely talk about during his little workshop that he's going to do for us. And I actually wrote a smart contract for like a simple sports betting app using Tellor data. And I need to write a script and test it using the playground address today, actually.
Oh, great. Do we have any feedback? Was our documentation perfect?
Well, I haven't tested yet to know if it works, but the setup went relatively smoothly, besides one absolute dumb mistake that I messaged Akram about, and he was like, "Oh, you just gotta put is using Tellor on the contract."
Oh, inheriting. Yeah. Okay.
But the docs were really good. It was mostly I hadn't used Solidity in a little bit, so I was a little rusty in there too.
No, that's great though. We sort of threw you in the first week. It was a difficult week, I guess, because we were all traveling, but I'm glad you had Akram and Faku to help you out. And I actually think that was the fact that you finished that one project. It's great. I wasn't expecting it this week. Yeah.
Thank you.
Brian, anything on that bug that the guy found?
No, but I'm that was fun to have it displayed in the booth with everyone to see. So I'm gonna
We have.
tackle.
I'm actually gonna have to go back through the reports to even find it because
I think I remember. Well, yeah, we'll talk about it.
yeah,
Um,
Was this one
Yeah.
the display one with like the eat something or I don't know?
oh, the
No,
ETH in front of the. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another one I want to tackle.
I was thinking about the ones where we were getting decode. It just said decode error on
Right, right.
and then it was just like, I don't know if it was a Telia problem or a data feed problem.
No, it's probably data feed. I mean, it's better than what it used to be, where the whole site would just crash
Right.
if something wasn't able to be decoded. So, yeah, but it's
We'll have to
it's
find
great that we're getting cases that we haven't really thought about before. So, we'll see what happened and try to fix that. So, outside of that, I got a long list of contacts that I made at the booth, so I want to kind of rummage through all that, sort it, and see what sticks.
Yeah. And just to clarify, like even the front end might have errors, but
Right.
Tellor still works.
Right.
Tellor generally doesn't really work for the front end. It's integrated in contracts, so this is just for display purposes. Tim, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, I've also got a long list of contacts to go through and recall all these good conversations I had in Denver. There were a lot of people interested in hearing about our new build layer. And we did have some existing protocols that expressed interest in potentially integrating us. So we'll have to follow up with those. Yeah.
We found ourselves in some of their docs too.
Yeah. Oh, and then on the comment about communicating that we support all these different data types, which our demo kind of showed that. And then we also had this handout with a data menu, which people seem to be responsive to. It just shows kind of a list of a lot of the existing data types, and it's nice to have something tangible to look at and get an idea of what we have.
Shout out to Mike, because that was his idea to make sure we had a menu, and glad it was well received. Yeah.
Yeah, the slogan was great too, saying, we can come up with custom price feed really fast. And that message came across clearly.
It was like we had the trifecta to land the message home. This time last year, we just said, oh, we can do anything, right? And people go, okay, cool. But this year, it's like, yeah, we can do anything. And here's the Tellor menu. And here now you can actually report to any one of these feeds and test it out and actually see it happen in 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like super effective to really get it to click.
Yeah. Dan, how was your first EthDenver and I guess your first crypto conference? Was it your first crypto conference?
Tim and I had went to the Columbia Crypto Economics.
Yeah, but that was at a conference, right? I mean,
Right.
Yeah, not like EthDenver.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I met a lot of cool people. It's nice to get to talk about Tellor to other people as well that know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I was impressed with how Dan kept his cool when he was talking to people. Like, if he didn't know the answer, he would just be like, oh, yeah, I don't know. We'll get, but he was great. Dan was great.
Yeah, definitely shout out
Great
to
job,
you.
Dan.
You picked up the slack, especially when I lost my voice. And there was a lot of time where you were just like up there. I was just really impressed for your first time. So
Thanks. Cool.
Good job, Dan. I know we sort of threw you in there. We did practice one day before we left, but we could have practiced a little bit more. Yeah, no, I mean, Thank you guys for coming out to Denver, and I know that it is rough to be out there between the altitude and talking to people all day. It's really, really exhausting, and it's good. I'd rather be exhausted at the end of the day than say like we didn't talk to anybody. We talked to a lot of people, and tomorrow what we'll do is we'll take some time, about an hour of the day, and we'll all jump in a call and get all the contacts in one area and do all that good stuff so that we make sure that we follow up. Yeah. Do we have any questions? And I don't know if you, I want to mention this just because it did come up in the public channel where somebody sent their tokens to an address. You know, we had implemented a fix for people to send them to the same token address in Ethereum, but apparently they send it to an address from another network, and unfortunately we cannot do anything about that. Like, just be very careful, people. Like, if you're sending anything, double check where you're sending it to. It always sucks. So it always sucks to not be able to help either. So yeah, sorry guys, whoever that was.
But someone asked if we would go to Phantom. I think that's one that we haven't really done yet. But yeah, so we can go to any network where there's going to be a user, and if we can bridge TRB, and quickly if it's an EVM chain. If it's not an EVM chain, then it's a big lift. So Phantom, it could be tough if it's, you know, but I guess they do have an EVM compatible component now. So but like usually we wait until there's a user that wants to use us there, or if the chain themselves reached out, then maybe, but I don't know.
Right, we're happy to serve any chain as long as, you know, there's a purpose for it, or, you know, we see that it's getting traction. If you're planning on building there and you need an oracle, hit us up. I'm fighting losing my voice, so I have to clear my throat every few seconds. But wait, if we don't have anything else, thank you everybody, and we'll